Hello everyone, welcome to Dikshant classes. Good morning everybody. Today I am going to discuss about the components of business environment, under which I will start with the economic environment. Economic environment which is related to economics, which affect in the economy as a whole. How the business will impacted by the government policies like fiscal policy, monetary policy, industrial policy. Fiscal policy which is related to taxation and revenue. Monetary policy is related to the supply of currency like Indian currency and their credits. Then next is industrial policy is related to how the industry will be affected by the industrial policy of government. It also includes the interest rates, cash reserve ratio, statutory liquidity ratio, open market operations, and what will be the GDP growth rate, and what is the per capita income, and what is the savings rate, how the money will be invested. It is all thing comes under the economic environment of a business. Next is the factors which affect the economic environment. These are economic system, economic policies, economic condition or factor. First is economic system. First, under this capitalism, it is a economy where the rules, regulations made by the private individual, which include their own business, the decision taken by the himself, like production, how much production will be done, at what price they will sell, they will decided by the individual himself. They are entrepreneurs. Where next is socialism. It is a system in which all the decision taken by the government of India or the state government, how much production will be done, at what prices will be sell to society at large. It is for in the welfare of society. But in the case of capitalism, it is their think about their own profit, not the society. Next is mixed economy. Mixed economy is a system in which all the decision taken by the collaboration of both the government and the private individuals. The decision like production and purchase, at what price they purchase, sell to the public at large. And it also includes the different decision like what technology use, what type of staff use to achieve these economic objectives and the justifications. Next is the economic systems. It means ownership means of production. It classifies into two parts: social ownership and private ownership. Social ownership include under the planning is social planned economy, where economy is planned. When in the market socialism, we depend on the market, how we socialize the market with others. Next is private ownership include degreeism, commandism, capitalism. Where then the market capitalism. Next is difference between economic systems, which include capitalism, socialism, mixed economy. Capitalism private means of production, where socialist state ownership means of production, where mixed ownership means state private and state ownership. Predominance of private sector in capitalism, where predominance of public sector in socialism, with the coexistence of private and public in mixed economy, with the decisive role of market in the capitalism, with decisive role of planning in socialism, with decisive role of market and supportive role of planning in mixed, where profit induced within capitalism, with the production guided by the social benefit in the socialism, where profit induced private business in the mixed economy, with the exploitation of labor in capitalism, with the abolition of the exploitation of labor in socialism, where the production is a sector guided by the social benefit, with the restrictive role of government in the capitalism, with the dominant role of government in socialism, where intervention of the role of the state in the mixed economy. Next is economic condition or factor. The economic condition of the nation is referred to the set of economic factors that have been influenced the business organizations and the operations. These include gross domestic products, per capita income, market for goods and services, availability of capital, foreign exchange reserves, and then the growth of foreign trade, strength of the capital market, interest rates, disposable incomes, then unemployment, inflation, etc. Next is economic conditions or factors which affecting the economy. Like inflation, means where the inflation are the very large for the small things, rates are spiked. Recession, it is during the when the economy is struggling for this growth. Next is trade cycles. Trade cycle, what will the trade cycle from the starting to the end? Then the income and employment. Income and unemployment is also affecting the economic factor. If income is good, people are earning, purchasing everything good. Then the production is increased, demand more. Then demand more. Then the production is increases. Production is increased. Profit increases. Profit increases. Sales increases. Sales increases. Growth increases. Then as incentives also increase. Then employment means employed. How many people are employed in the industries particular. Then economic growth. Economic growth is related to what will the economic growth after the production. Whether the business will go in a profit or loss. Whether in no profit no loss situation. Price level means at what price level they are agreed to sell the goods and services. Next is economic policies. All the business activities and operations are directly influenced by the economic policies framed by the government from time to time. Some of the important economic policies are in industrial policy. Industrial policy means which is related to industries which are operate in the country, like advertising industries and like production industries and so on. It will directly and control the enterprises of the countries and shape the pattern of industrial development. Next is fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is related to taxes and revenues and expenditure of public debt. Next is monetary policy. Monetary policy includes the supply of Indian currency to the people. If more supply, then interest rates increases and it will put a pressure on the economy. Next is foreign investment policy. The foreign investment policy is related to the, how the foreign investors are investing in India, in which assets, and what are the procedure, rules and regulations required to do for invest in India. Next is export-import policy. The export-import policy is related to the export to the exporter and importer, where they export the goods, where import the goods from other countries, and how they affect their business. So it is necessary to follow the government export-import policy, which is come in the 1981 and 1982. Next is political legal environment. The political legal environment related to the how the political system will affect the businesses, industries, sole proprietors, partnerships, and to overcome to follow the government rules, regulation, policies, principles which is measured by the made by the government, and to smoothly running of business. Next is legal environment. Legal environment related to rules, regulations which are need to be followed by the businesses, enterprises, entrepreneurs, sole proprietor, partnerships, and industries to smoothly flow business, like goods and service tax in the year 2017. Next is Weight and Measure Act, Adulterants Act, and there are so many acts need to be followed in a business. It includes the factors such as the efficiency of government agencies, the extent of the government rules in the economy and industries, and government policy, fiscal policy, monetary policy, industrial policy, and labor export-import policy, and special engagement are to be framework in which the enterprises has functioned to the degree of effectiveness in the implemented and public attitude toward the business in general and enterprise particular so on. Next is there are three elements in the political legal environment effect. First is government. Government is highly guided and controlled by the government policies, and it needs to consider the changes in the regulatory frameworks and this impact on the business. Next is tax and duties are the very critical areas, so it may be levied to affect the business. For example, introduction of fringe benefits tax has impact on the business. Next is legal. A business organization must operate in the countries where there is a sound legal system. If there is no sound legal system, business are not running properly, not efficiently, effectively, and there is no need to set up the business in the such countries. Otherwise, they are affecting every time. And like business must understand the law related to the companies, the Competition Act, the intellectual property, foreign exchange, and labor, and so on. Next is political. Political means a political pressure groups and limit organization to do the business. Apart from the special moments, sporadic moments against the certain products, services, organization, political are deeply instilled in institutions. And it is necessary to the organization to pay more attention to the consumer rights, minorities, then rights, and human rights. Next is socio-cultural environment. Socio-cultural environment related to the tradition, belief, culture, customs, taste and preferences, and demography, and like age, education, then gender, profession, all things affect comes under the social cultural environment which affect the business of organizations and also affect the society. And what are the human values, and what are the taste, what are the trend of the purchasing. It related to the social concerns like environmental pollution, corruption, use of mass media, social attitude like the lifestyles, materialism, attitude, belief, rituals. Family structure includes structure of a family, change in attitude toward family, then role of women, possibility of children, position of children, adolescence in family, society, education levels and the awareness of the consciousness of right and work ethics number society. Next is technological environment. Technological environment refer to how the it will change the way to communicate in the era of technology to the people, to the organization, to the stakeholders in the today's 21st century, because everything is digitalized. People are doing mails, WhatsApp, telegrams, and use social media. Then next is interfaces between business and technology. Technology reaches people to people and it increases the productivity, it saves time, it spent on research and development, changing the technology, rise in decline for products, acceptation of consumer. Next is social change. Jobs are becoming more intellectually, require more skills. Technological structure is also changes. Professional managers are doing the work. Regulation and oppositions. System complexity is there and demand for capital. Next is global environment. Global environment is how the business is done in globally. What technology and what practices are adopted at a global level, and is there any possibility to do adopt in countries businesses, or it giving any good results, or come in favor or not. And it includes the accountability. Who is accountability? And terrorism, shrinking the world, technology and free trades, culture, capitalism, monopoly power, environment, integration of economy, equality, then communication, recognition, trade versus added, then outsourcing, brands, exploitation, growth, poverty. Thank you so much for listening carefully. If you have any doubts, then you should comment it. I will surely make video. Please like, subscribe, and share with a friend who actually needs it. And it's a very useful video for the students who are in management background, economics background, and commerce background, who prepare for UGC Net, and it is also useful for the postgraduate level students. Thank you so much.